Today's topic for discussion is security issues for a small and medium-sized businesses. In fact, we'll take two major subtopics for discussion. One is the security issues for a small and medium-sized businesses, and second will be tools for network security. As a part of tool, we'll talk about our focus will be more on the virtual private networks, and whereas security issues is concerned, we'll try to highlight the problems, security problems most of the medium class or small class business face today, and what are the remedial measures can be taken. In this context, we'll talk about some of the statistics I have collected, the dangers in small and medium sized businesses faces today because of the security breaches. Every sector depends upon information technology and the internet for doing its operation. This has become now trend that even small organizations are using internet for doing its operations. Consequently, privacy and security are important topics which every company needs to be concerned about. If it was not internet supported in the organization, if there was no support of internet in the organization, security and privacy issue was not such a major issue. But today every organization is connected with the computers, and most of the organizations are working through computers with their clients and partners. Security and privacy issue has become major issues today. Almost everything in our daily life is connected to technology such as communications, transportation and healthcare. This is also true in our day-to-day life also. We do all these transactions, booking tickets for movies or to airlines or for the railways. Everything has becoming now through online now. Paying taxes for electricity and other water taxes again has become this one. Doing transactions like, for example, investment in the banking sector or the financial company, again everything is done through online. Attackers are today, that is why attackers have more options to hack this system than ever before. Furthermore, this dependency on the technology and the internet has led to more potential vulnerability for attackers to exploit. Global business landscape, including small and medium businesses, are rapidly becoming more dependent upon the digital technology and networking, and becoming more interconnected as a result now. So the companies are not only confined to themselves, they are not computerizing for their own operation, but also trying to connect with the outside world. So they have a major global footprint. While organizations have benefit from the conveniences and efficiency of online or internet connectivity, it does not come without a risk, and the risk is more related to security. The cyber attacks are becoming more sophisticated in terms of their tools and techniques, not only sophisticated but also quite common. According to the recent study, security is the biggest challenge facing a small and medium-sized businesses. Ever-changing security threats from both inside and outside the business network can wreak havoc on the business operations, affecting profitability and customer satisfaction. Business transformation through network technology and globalization of business set new security requirement for this one. In this one, the small business have become soft target for cyber attackers, as they often lack the resources or expertise to completely protect themselves from the threats. It's not only the small business but larger business also having, but small businesses are more vulnerable. According to some estimates, 58% of malware attacks, malicious software attack, victims are small businesses, and that of 94% of attack come through malware or phishing emails, distinguished as bills or invoices, emails, delivery failure notices and packages delivery notifications. So they come this one. The last point is very important. This is one estimate. There could be many other estimates also. 58% of the malware attack victims are small businesses, and that 94% of attacks come through malware, phishing emails disguised as bills, invoices, email delivery failure notices and package delivery notifications. These are quite common things in day-to-day business transactions. According to another estimate, cyber attacks will cost businesses, small and medium class businesses, which include huge sum in some trillions annually. This is what overall all over world some data has been collected. These costs include damage and destructions of data, stolen money from the bank, loss of productivity, theft of intellectual property, theft of personal and financial data, post-attack disruptions to the normal course of business, and loss of reputations and customers' trust. The customer trust is more important, because once you lose this one money, then people take example of any financial company, and the website has been hijacked, so the all personal details of the investors are open, so definitely the customer is not going to invest further in this company. In one of the cyber security breaches survey conducted by in 2018 reported by Telegraph. So I'm just taking the data from the Telegraph UK, published from the UK. This is a newspaper which has published some cyber security breaches, and this report is of 2018. That 74% of the businesses say cyber security is a high security. This is survey kind of things among all business, small businesses. Only 20% say have formal cyber security policies in place. Only 30% of business have a board member with responsibility for cyber security. So it was not considered as a top priority. And just 20% have put a staff through cyber security training in the last 12 months. In the last year, 43% of the company experienced a cyber security attack, where these incidents resulted in a loss of assets or data. The mean cost for the small and micro businesses was around some amount to large business, 2,300 pound to 22,000 for large businesses. The human behavior error, it is a third party relationship, were found to be the three categories of common cyber security attacks. So basically the three common attacks or the errors which are taking place with the human behavior, the IT or a third party relationship were found to be main cyber security threats. Protecting the confidential and sensitive data of any organization is very critical. That is, we try to summarize them. There are a number of hacking attacks which are affecting business of all sizes, but our focus was here more on the small and medium class businesses. Hackers, malware, viruses, more of the real security threats in the real world. And this one, but apart from that company has a collaboration with a third party, and they most of the company outsource their some work to the third party, and they have access to confidential data or the systems of the organization. So that has also become a major security threats. It is required that every organization is aware of dangerous security attacks and take the necessary steps to keep the organization secure. The malware can remotely gather, so see some of the things now what they do now. Malware can remotely gather data from from the credit card swipe at the machine and send it back to the hacker. The common form of cybersecurity attacks include ransomware, in which access to assets is blocked by the hackers and hold them hostages until a sum of money is paid. And these kind of things are quite common in a smaller business kinds of organization. Hackers may also gain access to a process called key logging, in which scammers capture each keystroke on a device and overtake the entire computer, including its webcam, keyboard, and all the related files. Human behavior error is the most frequent enabler of cybersecurity breaches, creating a weak spot for the criminal to exploit. Reason: clicking on an unsolicited link or failing to safeguard passwords, downloading from unverified sites. People are the root cause of many successful attacks. Need of creating a robust digital safety cultures within the organization to prevent the vast majority of cyber scam. Immediately installing software patches, and so some of the guidelines one can think of that the whenever there is a software patches, new modifications in the software, immediately try to install it. upgrade will also ensure the latest security is in place. But it is out of the data software that gives criminal the access they are looking for, out of date software. The final category is a third party, and we have listed it. We're trying to elaborate how these are affecting. If the third have access to the company systems, not having a robust cyber security culture in the place, then the company's efforts are undermined. Emails carrying malicious attack links, regular and robust training. So in case of emails carrying malicious links and other problems, the solution could be regular and robust training will improve the employee behaviors and prevent them from opening unsolicited emails and clicking on links they are not expecting. Weak username, this is also a problem. Password, also this is a problem. Offering guidance on generating a strong username and password and not using the same login details on multiple devices will also definitely protect them. So we have identified now what we are doing is in the presentation that we have identified the type of problem, and it has been shared by people through in a survey. Now the problem and how to deal with it. So we are giving some kinds of solutions now. What has to do with the staff training is important, up to date software is required, limited access to the third party. This is also very important to control these cyber attacks. The username, password also has to be a strong kind of things. Login details, same login details should not be used at multiple devices. So these are few things one can think of. The another thing problem also happens because there is no adherence to IT and data policies. Ongoing and consistent training definitely will help more employees know what is expected of them. Now malware gaining access via personal devices, how to do away with it. The lines between our personal and professional lives have become increasingly blurred. Training should reflect this. Seeking to improve behavior in every aspect of employees' digital lives and not just focusing on IT use at work. So how to use the digital technology in day-to-day work, that will also go a long way to solve this problem. Malicious software through social media, this is another basic problem. Company may provide access. In this case, what we have to do, companies may provide access to personal social media accounts, but an increasing number of companies have now corporate accounts, and developing this online presence is becoming more important for a wider spectrum of business. Although one can restrict, but another side, this is the problem most of the companies are facing. The company must develop the requisite skills to manage, maintain and operate these accounts, reminding employees of their responsibility when using company equipment, ensuring the appropriate IT security is in place will go a long way. So these are the issues one can consider them, and most important, you see, till now the focus is on the in-house training, the exposure of employees to day-to-day how to use the systems properly, installing patches and software grade as soon as they are available. This is also restricted access to the former employee to use the system. That is very important. A standard procedure must ensure permissions are ended as soon as an employee stops working with the company. So as soon as employee is working company, this would be a stop using the system. Cyber risks are growing in number and sophistication, but so too are the tools available to mitigate and manage these threats. As I told you in the beginning that the two major issues which we are going to discuss are the security threats related to medium and small businesses, and the second one is network security tools. So far we have discussed about the first part where we listed out number of problems these businesses are facing and what measures they should take now. But besides the training and awareness and IT policy, digital policy framing up in the organizations, the company should select the proper security tools to deal with all these issues. I pointed out in some of my slides that Since the nature of security threats are also become severe, so is the sophisticated tools are coming to deal with this kind of issues. So today, now we'll try to list some of the security issues, and we'll take up few of them and continue in the next presentations now. Some of these have been classified or can be put into this category, antivirus software packages. We have discussed all these issues now, but we are putting in some perspective. Switches and routers we have discussed here. These are the network devices we have discussed earlier. Firewall and network intrusion detection system. We'll take the firewall here. Virtual private network will be coming up for discussion. Digital certificate encryptions and other issues. So we have discussed in some context, and here we'll highlight few of them which were not discussed in detail. Let us start with the antivirus software. These packages counter most of the virus threats. It should be regularly updated and correctly maintained. So antivirus software, you must have up-to-date software now. Then antivirus software looks at data from various sources received through the net or at the individual's machine, web pages, files, software and applications. So they see the files, where from the file coming from, web or from internally. It searches for known threats and monitors. So it has some signatures and try to verify, compare the signature of the existing and what they have already built into it, and monitors the behavior of all programs, flagging suspicious behavior. Several types of antivirus program have evolved till now. It has been classified according to us.norton.com. This is one of the references I have made. Some of these types are malware signature antivirus, this is one type. Antivirus for system monitoring, this is two, and third is machine learning related antivirus. So this antivirus software can be put into three kinds of category. The malicious software may do the following activities on the target machine: installing viruses, spyware without the knowledge of the user, stealing login information, using the computer to send spam, crashing the computer system, provide cyber criminals access to the system and information stored on them, facilitate to monitor and control the online activities, detects malware signature, which are fingerprints of malicious software, scans for a specific malicious codes, identify specific viruses, disable these virus programs. Limitation, what are the limitation of, in spite of all those new features, good features, what are limitation of antivirus software? Inability to address new virus because it simply does not contain this new virus signature. So it works according to the program already built into it. It works according to the signature it has already. But if new virus comes, it coming almost daily, and for which it does not contain signature, it cannot be of much help. We will move to the second kind of antivirus software, system monitoring antivirus. This is where system monitoring antivirus software comes into the play. This antivirus protections can monitor software and computer system for behavior that is suspect or typical of the user. For instance, alerts are created when user connects to the unfamiliar sites or attempts to access a large number of files, or when there is a significant increase in data usage. So if any kind of symptoms takes place or trend takes place, then it gives you alarm. Now we move to the machine learning antivirus. They observe the behavior of a computer or machine or a network, able to restrict activities by programs or computers if they look suspicious. Implements algorithms to facilitate malware detections that is broader in scope. This type of antivirus protection is beneficial because it works in tandem with other antivirus applications to provide multiple layers of protection. So this is a good kinds of antivirus software. Now what is the switches and router? You know the switches and routers we have discussed in some context earlier, but let me remind you once again what they do. In setting up a small network for offices, the two most essential pieces of devices needed are switches and routers. These two devices perform different functions within a network, although they look similar. Switches facilitate the sharing of resources by connecting together devices such as computers, printers, servers in a small business network setup. The connected device through a switch can share information regardless of where they are in a building or in a campus. A router connects multiple switches and their respective networks to form even larger network. So, router is used for larger network setup. This network may be a simple location or across multiple locations. When building a small business network, one or more routers might be required. So, router has more functionality or more advanced in terms of connectivity than the switches now. In addition to connecting multiple network together, the router also allows network devices and multiple users to access the internet. Switches connect computers within a network while the routers. So, also the site will also give you some glimpse of how can differentiate between the two. You can differentiate between the two. Switches connect computers within a network while the routers connect multiple networks together. An attacker with a presence on an organization's internal routing and switching infrastructure can monitor, modify and deny traffic to and from key hosts inside the network. So, this is just, you try to notice, this is about how they take care of security issues. Switches and routers play important role in securing network infrastructure. Switches and routers have hardware and software features which support secure connectivity, intrusion protections, identity services and security management. Security features which can be included in switches include port locking, address locking, port authentications, broadcast storm control and packet filtering. So, these are the measures, these are the features they use for security measures, which I listed: port locking or address locking or port authentication. Routers can examine things like the origination's address, the destination's address, destination service port and so on. These informations can be employed to limit the sort of packets that are allowed to come in and go out of a system. VPN, that we will concentrate now. Earlier, private networks have been used by organizations to communicate with the remote sites and other organizations. Private networks comprise of lease lines from the various phone companies or telecom companies and internet service provider. The lines are point to point and packets that travel on these lines create a real circuit between these two sites. Disadvantage: high cost. Earlier, before the VPN, this kind of scenario was existing now. With the increasing use of the internet, many organizations have switched over to the VPN from private network. VPNs offers organizations many of the advantages of the private networks with a lower cost on a public network. A VPN is an extension of a private network across a public network like internet for sending and receiving data and taking advantage of a secure private network. VPNs mask the IP address and how they secure the system. This is the example. Explanations: VPN masks the IP address of an individual to make online actions virtually untraceable. Most important, VPN service establish secure and encrypted connections to provide greater privacy than even to secured Wi-Fi hotspot. Why do we require a VPN service? Because surfing the web or transacting on an unsecured Wi-Fi network means exposing your private information and browsing patterns. To maintain online security and privacy, a VPN is must for anyone. The encryptions and anonymity that a VPN provides helps protect your online activity, sending emails, shopping online, paying bills. VPN also keeps your web browsing anonymous. Virtual private network. A virtual private network or VPN forms an encrypted connection. This is something very important. Encrypted connection over the internet from a device to a network. The encrypted connection helps ensure safe transmission of sensitive data, prevents unauthorized people from eavesdropping on the traffic and allows the user to conduct work remotely. Widely used in corporate environment now. The applications running across a VPN may therefore benefit from the functionality, security and management of the private network. VPN technology was developed to provide access to corporate applications and resources to remote and mobile users. So, you are working organizations, now you are not sitting in the office moving, but you can access the corporate data. For security, the private network connections may be established using an encrypted layered tunneling protocols, and users may be required to pass through various authentication methods to gain access to the VPN. How does a VPN work? A VPN extends a corporate network through encrypted connections made over the internet known as a tunnel. Encrypted traffic between devices and network traffic remains private as it travels through the tunnel. An employee can work outside the office and still securely connect to the corporate network using VPN connections. VPN tunneling, let me just briefly, VPN tunneling is a must for online privacy. A VPN tunnel hides the IP address, encrypts the user's data generated during the web surfing after it connects to the user's smartphone, tablet, etc. The VPN tunnel is useful when someone is logging into the internet using public Wi-Fi and hotspots, coffee shop, library or metro. There are few protocols, but not all our VPN tunnels are equally effective. Stronger the tunneling protocol, the stronger will be. Some tunneling protocol will be faster, but you will see they have weak security techniques. Some protocols are outdated and may not provide all these issues today. These are the few protocols we have: PPTP, L2TP, SSTP and OpenVPN. The PPTP point to point is called. It's one of the older version still in usage, extremely fast, but it has weak data encryption techniques. L2TP or IP6, 2 layers of encryptions for protections of online data, but it results in a slower online connection speeds. SSTP only available on Windows operating system. This is the limitations of these protocols now. It also does not use fixed ports, so it is easier for SSTP to get through a firewall. That is the interesting part of this one now. OpenVPN provides the strongest protections while online. These protocols work with all the major operating system, Unix, Windows, Mac, on the mobile operating system also. This is more powerful protocols now. So let me summarize quickly. So basically we discussed two major issues, the security tools and elements you can say, and but focus was more on the VPN. But besides this one, we also talked about antivirus software, which we have been talking about most of the time. But focus was on antivirus software. We also talked about secure or security issues in the routers and switches, and started talking about the VPN. With this, now we try to conclude, and thank you very much.